called Build Solid Ground, which is focused on resilient cities and communities. And so you're going to hear this morning a lot of case studies, a lot of examples of this concept of resilience. So we just thought we'd start the morning by explaining our interpretation. And just to explain, so the project is 14 organisations, mostly based in Eastern Europe, and we are a technological partner to Dublin, as Sean has said, based in Ireland. And the focus of the project is this SDG 11, Sustainable Development Goal 11, which is all about resilient cities and communities. And it's focused on making cities and settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, sustainable. All these words you read, we hear, and we use, but do we actually understand what they mean? And do we, more importantly, understand as a planner, as an architect, as an engineer, and as a citizen, how they actually influence our daily life? So that's kind of what we want to talk to you this morning about. And then in the afternoon,
lepo dopolnjevale in pokazali smo tudi, da v Sloveniji tudi razmišljamo o teh stvarih in kjer je misel, sem prepričana, da je na koncu tudi kaj implementacije.
Good morning. My name is Pat Kennedy, and I'm from a company called eTownz. We have a slightly different presentation this morning. What we're looking at is the community's role in local development, and how we engage local people, how we get them involved in the local planning process, and the tools and frameworks that we've developed to help this, and how this relates to the nature-based solutions project we're working on. And just to give a little background, I studied environmental engineering in Dublin, and I also studied social science. I worked for many years as an energy consultant mainly, and I started up a company called eTownz about 9 years ago. Our company undertakes a lot of research with researching in Ireland and abroad, and we work then with the Department of Rural Affairs and other public organisations around Ireland. We provide a range of different services which kind of combine to try and find suitable solutions for communities. So it involves web development, a lot of process automation. So how can we streamline processes within a community? We build digital knowledge libraries, so trying to capture ideas and knowledge developed by experts in the field, and how we can easily distribute them to communities. We do a lot of data visualization, so taking big data and making it feasible or understandable to people in communities, and support research projects such as this. So I will give a quick summary on eTownz framework, and then I'll give an introduction to the eTownz dashboard, which is an online tool which supports the framework, and then show you how this will be assisting this project going forward. The idea of the framework really is we want to create a framework where communities of any type, so be it rural communities, suburban or urban communities, can all have a common methodology to understanding their local area and planning for the future. We want a methodology which is evidence-based, so we want to collect data and use data and evidence to support the best ideas for that community. And a really important point is the idea of co-creation. So it's not engineers coming with ideas and telling them what happens. We need the various stakeholders within a community coming together and hearing their voice to see how we can move things forward. Here's a visual which tries to explain the idea of how we gather information locally. So we're looking at assisting communities in preparing community plans. And traditionally we reviewed a lot of community plans, and they tend to be long documents, 50, 60 pages, which don't be read. The structure of community development themes. Okay? Our top level, or T1s, are health, well-being and social. Number 2 is environment, sustainability. Number 3 is economy, employment and business. And the final one is management and planning. I've given a representation here of Tier 2 trees. So there's 4 in Tier 1, there's about 17 in Tier 2, and we've actually 60 in Tier 3. This allows us to have plans on niche things like tourism in my community, or go up into higher levels regarding health in the community. The next thing is our allowed types. And we have 4 different primary log types. Okay? The first one is stakeholders. So we're gathering information again from a community and we're defining who are the stakeholders. So we have local clubs, so these might be a local football club, and we're going to find them perhaps in sports and recreation, and they're a club type. We'll also have local businesses, local services, which could be libraries, schools, and so forth, and the local people themselves. So our next log type is assets. Okay, so we're looking at the football pitch, the river, the fountain in the centre of the town. So we need to understand the assets we have in our community, so we can get a better understanding of how to improve things going forward. The next thing we understand is the projects, against past, present, future. So we need to understand the capacity within the community. So what projects have they undertaken? So it could be as simple as they're training an under-12s team to play football, or it could be a new cycle lane being put in the project. But by understanding the past projects and what they're good at present, we're better able to understand what projects we should address going forward. And the final type is challenge and goals. What do the community want to aspire to be? What are the problems that they need to address? So we work with communities. Then whereby we deliver workshops in the community, we run surveys in the community, and we also run desktop research, whereby we might look at county plans or regional plans, identify the components there which are relevant to that community, and we build these little small logs. I'll give you an example here. Here's the kind of sheet we use in our workshops. So they simply tick the box on what type it is, what theme it is, give a title and summary, and this goes into our online database so it can be easily manipulated. So here's a quick visualization of our eTownz dashboard. We've been researching the project for maybe 5 or 6 years, and last year we started trials of the solution in 10 communities in a county in the west of Ireland called Clare. Just give me one moment. Okay, so we see here, these are all the logs. Okay, we're attaching types and themes to each of those. We gather them in workshops and so on and so forth, and we upload them to the system here. As you can see here, each log, then people can follow along. So if particular people are interested in cycling, different people from the community can follow the logs that are interested in those. And they can also comment on those. So maybe they have ideas that they want to add to it, and here's where they add their contribute. If they didn't get a chance to go to the workshops, they can also add the logs here. They'll go in as draft format first, and then managers go in and say, yes, these are good, these go live. So I mentioned, we run workshops, and we really encourage then a cross-section of the community to get involved. So we're actually running workshops now in schools, but also general workshops with business groups or the community as a whole to get invited to, just to try and get these small, nice, kind of a tweet more or less of information to try and engage people in the process. And what's the output from this? The output is, because the information is logged in a database, we auto-create community plans under each theme. So here's an example of a community in west of Ireland called Kilkeel, and 4 plans are produced from the exercise: health, well-being, environment, business, and local planning. And what are the benefits here? One, they're modular and easy to read. I say we're getting away from this idea of big, long engineering-style reports and getting things that people can glance through to find the things that they are interested in. They're easy to update. So too often community plans are written, and they might be written again for another 5 to 10 years, and they can go obsolete very quickly. As these are digitized, people can add to them, edit them, and a new plan essentially can be every week if they wish. It really builds upon the work of existing clubs and groups within a community. So it's not, again, this idea of a consultant coming in, parachuting in, giving solutions and then going away. We ask each club and organisation within the community to write down what are their goals, what are their assets, and then we can group these together to see where there's overlap between different clubs and groups within a community. It also then, because we get lots of communities across the region, we can start to see where communities are similar, but also if a solution works in one community and a community down the road is very similar, we might be able to see where the same solutions can map onto similar communities. And the key here is it promotes better or encourages more people within the community to get involved. Key we find is providing people with information of relevance to them. So if they're interested in retail and they're interested in cycling, they only want to read information regarding retail and cycling. We need to kind of push back through the information so we can tailor this as it's so modular. I say here's an example of the towns that work in West of Ireland. So there's 10 of them there at the moment, and it's been a 12-month process which we're just coming to the end of at the moment. We have been involved with the project since its inception, and what we're doing here is we're working with the experts to try and understand the ideas they have and get them digitized. Seeking to get them into a kind of a modular square process. We're also developing an NBS assessment tool, which will be ready hopefully next year, whereby we can have a tool which we can ask a series of questions to any community and we'll give them a score. So what's the resilience score related to water? What's the resilience score related to energy? We'll do something similar in the afternoon, but this is, I say, early stages yet. And also what we're doing is developing a solutions bank. Okay, so we want to identify our problems. How can we kind of have a Lego piece to fit in the best solutions to the best problems? So that's what we're looking to address. Now, we have this loaded. I might be able to give you a quick show. Okay, so this is the draft of the tool. So as you see here, first we detailed our resilience areas, which are listed here. What we're doing then is listing the relevant questions to each of these themes. So what are the key questions we need to ask about communities under each of these areas? And there are multiple choice answers. So based on that, I'll show you here. So we list the various answers and give scores towards each of these answers. So quickly we can go through a process of communities of different sizes, of rural and urban, and develop a scoring system so they're comparable, so we can understand where solutions might best fit. So that's a very brief summary of eTownz model and our role in the ARC project. Thank you very much for your time.
Don't panic.